Um, my parents don't really care. I mean, they prefer for me to date within my race, which is Koreans.
I think my parents will be not like, I don't know how to say it, but they're like they're okay with it, but more uncomfortable because they can't speak English that well, so they'll have a hard time communicating with them. So.
Well, my parents, they don't really, establish who I date or what race I have to date. My dad just says as long as, their character and their standards meet up to theirs, that I'm fine to date with them.
Well, my parents never really told me I should or shouldn't date outside my race, so really, I don't think they would care anything. So they wouldn't have a problem with it.
They don't really care. All they care about me dating is that, it's a good girl, and they don't, as long as I'm happy.
I think my parents don't have a problem with it, but I could be wrong because I've never dated outside my race at all. So I don't really know, but I think they're both really open-minded people, and I know they don't have a problem with other races at all, so it's kind of a 50-50 chance whether or not if I brought someone home from another race, like, that I'd get the reaction, but I think there would be a problem maybe on my mom's side of the family because they're really traditional, like a Greek family, so I know that my papu, my mom's father, would have a problem with it, and I think that would really affect whether or not the way they felt about it.
Well, my parents feel that it's my choice to choose who I want to be with or who I want to date, and they decide that due to how they taught me through my life and lessons, and they expect me to make the right choice and the best judgments through my abilities.
Outside of my race, parents would probably not be too happy. It's just very traditional in my house, and so they assume that because I'm brown and Indian and Muslim, I'd find someone who's brown and Indian and Muslim, just a male. And they probably, I'm hoping, wishful thinking, that they would be open to it if it was someone who's just Muslim and maybe not brown. But in reality, they would probably not be the most happy.
I wouldn't date outside of my race, but it's just, it's just communication is one thing, and it's more comfortable around my own race. So.
I don't really care who I date, if it's either within my race or without it. I really have a good reason for either of them, so it doesn't really matter who I date.
Well, I would definitely date outside of my race because I've had bad experiences dating inside of my race, and I'm very open to other races.
I would definitely have no problem dating outside my race. I don't see any color barriers. If I like someone, anything. So I can see myself dating outside my race.
I have a white girlfriend, and it's just who I like. It doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter to me.
Yes, I would date outside of my race. I think I'm attracted to more ethnic-looking people, so yes, call me.
I'm actually currently dating outside my race, a Hispanic girl, which is really cute.
Again, I would probably look for religion first. If they were Muslim, then yeah, I would consider dating them. But it's just a comfort zone if they were Indian, so I would be able to relate because I'm a big fob myself. So if they were of my same culture, then it would be easier for me. But I want to say I wouldn't be closed-minded. I would still be open if they were the same religion.
Okay. My father, he was uncomfortable, and he was a little bit of racist, knowing that he came from Puerto Rico. He came from a small town in the center of the island, which he and his family wasn't the first one to see a black man in their town. So when he moved back, he moved to the southwest of the island, and all the other cultures like African American, they have already mixed in the island. he even wasn't happy with that. So when he see his daughter, me, dating a darker a person, he wasn't happy for that.
I think that wasn't an issue. I live in an island. I'm from Puerto Rico, so probably the chances were not around me, but I don't think they will mind for me to date with somebody who wasn't a Puerto Rican.
Just wouldn't approve of. They would, sometimes you welcome people into your family and sometimes you don't. And it was probably one of those times where they didn't welcome them in as well as they should have.
They wouldn't have approved of that.
That concept didn't exist actually, yeah, and they wouldn't be happy if I did so.
I think it's a wonderful thing to see that people can love each other for who you are, not for where you come from or what color of your, person you are. So I think it's a wonderful thing.
I embrace race. I love cultures. I think it's a great opportunity for any human being to have interaction with any other race, and you're gonna find some cultural barriers, but those are the ones that you really have to overcome in order to find the real meaning of dating somebody, besides looking at their color of the skin or the background. So that, I'm not taking away that as maybe one of the barriers that you might face, but I don't see any problem on my son dating somebody who's not a Puerto Rican or somebody else out of our race.
Not a problem.
I want my daughter to be happy, but I would prefer she date inside her own race.
I think it's difficult for them to date outside the race. They might be compatible, but cultures differ, and that's a stress. Like, you want to think about a life partner in a different race and a different culture. It's hard for both the people, with the boy and the girl. Like, I think it's very hard, but it's not impossible.